Hi, my name is Amy Rovner, and I am an instructional designer in the e-learning department here at Shoreline Community College. Today we're going to do a run-through of Canvas and its main features to enable you to be a successful online student, whether you're taking a fully online class, a hybrid class, or even a web-enhanced class. So we're going to start at the very beginning. I'm wondering if you guys know what a browser is. Browsers are what you use to navigate the internet. So these are some of the common ones. You've probably heard of Firefox, Google Chrome, Safari, Internet Explorer. These are all great browsers to use while trying to access Canvas. I will let you know that Internet Explorer is not always the best option. So if you're comfortable with Internet Explorer, go ahead and use it. But if you run into a challenge with Canvas, try using Chrome or Firefox and see if whatever it is you're trying to do works properly with those. At this point, Internet Explorer is not optimized or new enough really to work well with Canvas. So keep that in mind. Okay, so we've got browsers covered. Another quick question to ask yourself is, do you have access to a good, strong internet signal? This may not be as relevant for your day-to-day classwork, but it's really important when it comes to taking tests or exams in Canvas. If you have a Wi-Fi connection at your home that can be a little bit flaky, that's probably not the connection you want to be relying on when you're taking an online quiz in Canvas. If you have a service interruption, you will get dumped out of your test, and it'll be a challenge to get back into it. You'll have to contact your faculty member. It can be a bit tricky. So if you know you have a flaky internet connection and you have a quiz in Canvas, it's probably a great idea to come to the computer labs on Shoreline's campus. They're in the bottom level of the library building. We also have 2 rooms available here in the e-learning offices in the 1200 building. You're welcome to give us a call, and you can actually reserve a time slot to use our computers. And they are hardwired to the internet here on campus, so you should not have any problems with service interruptions. Okay, so I want to have you take a quick look at the Shoreline Community College website, and so that should be showing on your screen. You've probably already spent some time here, so I want to just point out 2 important places that I want you to check out. So if you're navigating on that left-hand menu, there's a Future Students tab and then a Current Students tab. We're going to click on Current Students because I want you to see what great information there is available for you on this. If you click on Current Students Home, that top item, you're going to see some very long lists that are kind of hard to look through, but great lists full of great information available to you as a student here on campus. At the very top are some quick click icons. There's a Grades tab, a Canvas link, so if you're wondering how to access Canvas, that's a great place to access it, your student email, your class schedule, and then a directory of folks on campus. If you look at these other categories, there's places to register for classes, you can request refunds, you can add or drop a class. If you need some online assistance, you can find your SID, if you're wondering what that is, or student ID. There's more information here. I'm going to go right back, though, to that Current Students. And here we are again at Current Students Home. And other items here that are important to note are, let's see if I can get this to scroll down. There we go. So academic resources over here. So Center for Service Learning, information about the computer labs on campus, ESL and GED lab, e-tutoring. We actually have tutoring services available for you remotely. So even if you don't live in Shoreline or you can't make it to campus, you can be tutored online. Information about the library and the tech center. We also have a math learning center and a writing and learning studio where you can get help writing papers, college application essays, that kind of stuff. Tutoring services also available. We have great resources for students with disabilities, scholarships, and there's even more under academic resources. And finally, student life and support. Here there's also great services. I wanted to just particularly point out there's counseling services here on campus. Those are free services available to you as a student. So if you're having a family issue or some other struggles, these folks are there available to help. So please do reach out for their assistance. We have all the student policies here. So if you're wondering about how something works, here's the place to check. We have a multicultural center, a women's center, a leadership center. There's all kinds of athletics and intramurals. We also have really great veteran services. So if that applies to you, I encourage you to check that out. Oh, and finally, dental clinic. We have a dental hygiene program here on campus, and so our students need patients to practice on. So there are, I think, free and reduced rate dental services. So that's the overview of student services. So now we're going to go back to this left-hand menu bar, and I want you to take a look. Well, actually, we're going to go back here to Shoreline Community College, that big white logo over here. I want you to click on that, and that's going to take us back to the full home page. So we had future students, current students, international students, and now we're at online students. And so that's where we're really going to focus today. So go ahead and click on online students. And there's some choices there. Virtual campus, that describes all of our programs you can take completely online, how to apply, areas of study, and then I want to show you e-learning services because that's where I am, and this is where you're going to find all the support you need to do well in your online courses. So click on e-learning services, and this first page is great. It's got a lot of information, but I want you to see there's some information to consider about whether or not online learning is for you, but you're already registered, so you might review that for some tips. But most importantly, the next link is how to succeed in an online class. There's definitely taking an online class is different than taking a fully face-to-face class. So there are some strategies and tips for success. So check those out. If you need help, we are here in e-learning, obviously, but we also have e-advising, e-tutoring, and e-counseling. Now, I already mentioned the e-tutoring, but you can also be advised online, and you can also get counseling online and over the phone. So do make use of those resources if you need them, because they are there for you. We have 24/7 librarian help here in Washington State, so you won't necessarily be speaking to a Shoreline Community College librarian at 2 a.m., but if you need help formatting a bibliography or doing a little research in the middle of the night, someone will be there to help you. So know that that resource is available. You can also order your textbooks online, and then there's some historical information about student satisfaction with online learning. So the other important thing on this page is how to contact e-learning, because as I said, we're here to help. We're here regular campus business hours. You're welcome to walk in. We're in the 1200 building. Come on in. There's always a couple of us here to help. You're welcome to call. The phone number is also listed here. And you're also welcome to email. We have an email system, and we're always checking and sending out and replying to email. So all of those options are available to you. And finally, while we're here in e-learning services, I just want to show you the e-learning staff. So when you walk through that door, it's actual real people you're going to meet. So we are available for you. So come and see us soon. All right, so you're probably ready to dive on in. So, well, wait, there's one more thing we need to cover first. I want to make sure you know how to access your Shoreline email account. I know many students don't use that account, and I just want to let you know that it is very important that you know how to access it and you do check it regularly. Because of legal protections for you as a student, faculty and staff are only allowed to email you at your go.shoreline.edu email address. This protects your information and your privacy. And if you aren't checking it, you're actually most likely missing important messages from your faculty and from the college. So we're going to go back to that Shoreline Community College link on the upper left, and we're going to click on that. And that's just going to take us back to the home page. And there's those future students again, but we're going to go down to current students. And there's a Canvas link, also good to know. And then under that, there's an email link. So let's go ahead and click on that email link. And this is where you're going to go if you need help accessing your email if you forgot your password, all of that information is right here. So if you scroll down a little bit, you can log into email. Just click that link and go.shoreline.edu. That's going to take you to your email, and use the same credentials you use to log into Canvas. So your full name, first name dot last name at go.shoreline.edu email address, and then you use the same password you use for Canvas to get into your email. If for some reason you can't remember your username and password, go ahead and click on this link. That's going to help you reset that. You can set your communication preferences and also sign up for emergency alerts for here on campus. That's actually a really important thing to do. And if you're having any trouble with your email account and access, you actually want to contact TSS here on campus, and that's Technology Support Services. They handle the emails setup. Okay, so that's your email. We're going to hope that that is working for you. Now we're going to log into Canvas. Okay, so the way to log into Canvas is you're going to type Canvas. Well, there's many ways, but the most direct way is canvas.shoreline.edu on one of those browsers we mentioned. Firefox and Chrome and Safari work the best. Okay, here's the login screen. So you're going to type in that full go.shoreline email. So I'm going to type in the email.test. This is my test student at go.shoreline.edu. And I'm going to type in my password, and I'm going to hit that login button. And here we go. And no, I do not want you to remember it. Okay, so this place that just opened up when you first log into Canvas is called your landing page. It's where you land when you go into Canvas. So this is a good summary page. It's an overview of your whole life in Canvas. So if you're taking one course, it's really only going to apply to one course. But if you're taking multiple courses, it's going to collect all the information for those multiple courses right here on this one page. So that's great. In a glance, you can see all the recent activity, what's happened since you last logged in, how many announcements were made, and for which classes. How many assignment notifications did you get? That could be grades, assignment updates. That's for 2 classes for my test student. And how many discussion posts and discussions have been going on? So you can look at that too. If you want more information, you can click Show More, and it will give you a little bit more information. So that's a good thing to keep track of. The other thing you can do is on your right-hand side, there's a to-do list, a coming up list, and a recent feedback list. So at a glance, you can see that you have a couple things due in the next couple of days. And coming up, these are things also due in the future. And finally, recent feedback. It looks like we've gotten some feedback on some assignments for this test student. So you can click and you can actually hover over it and find out some of the general information, or you can click on it to access the assignment. I do want to caution you that I don't want you to use this to-do list and the coming up list as your direct route into assignments, because you can click on those. Those are links. You could click in this to-do, turn in icebreaker introduction, click on it and submit it. But I'm going to strongly urge you not to approach it that way. Because this is an overview of yourself in your classes, you're missing a lot of the information. This is simply due dates. So I'm going to strongly encourage you to enter your classroom. And I came up with an analogy that pretty much works pretty well, I think. So you drive to Shoreline's campus, and you're parked in the parking lot, and you walk over to the main area of campus, and you're looking at all the buildings. And you have classes in those buildings. But right now you're just at this landing page, we're just looking at the buildings. So, you know, these buildings happen to have signs in the windows that tell you what's coming up, but that's not giving you the information. You're not getting the content from the instructor in that class to know what you need to know before you do the assignment, what their expectations are, etc. So I'm strongly encouraging you to go ahead and enter your classroom. So if you go over here on this top green bar, you have a courses, and you might have courses in groups, or it might just say courses, depends on if you have any groups in your classes. But so go to courses and look at your list of courses. Today we're going to go into the Canvas course for student orientation, or Canvas 101. That's what we're in today. And that's the class I want to go into. So think of this as like entering the classroom. So I'm going to click on that Canvas course. And I have just opened the door to my classroom, and now I am in my classroom. And this is the place where you're going to get the most information from your faculty member, from your fellow students, and this is really the place where you want to learn and do your most work. So, as you look at the screen, there's quite a few things to notice, and I'm going to review them really quickly. Here at the top, this green bar, these are global buttons for Canvas. So these are everything for you in your Canvas world, kind of like that landing page. So the courses, it'll have your full list of courses. It'll show all the groups you might belong to. It's a way to get your grades for all your courses, not just this one course. And a calendar that also shows all your course due dates for all your courses. And then the upper right, there's the email test. That's the name of my student. So right there, it'll be your name. And that's a clickable link that you can click on and access your own personal settings. Inbox, that is a way of sending messages through Canvas to your instructor and your fellow students. It's rather like email, but it's a little bit different. These are your personal settings. This is where you log out, and this is where you get help. And that help button is really important, and we will get back to that in a little while. So those are global buttons. But now we opened that door, we clicked on our course name, and we walked into our classroom. So now you can tell where you are. You're in Canvas 101. And this is sort of the home page for the course. See, the home page is highlighted here. And then on the left-hand side, there's some other options for navigating this Canvas classroom. And every faculty member has the ability to rearrange these tabs and to hide tabs and show tabs. So depending on how they want you to navigate their course, you're going to see different things. So here we're at the home. Let's get back to home. There we are. Not all faculty use the syllabus button, but it does exist. The nice thing about this syllabus button is that when you click on it, often there's content at the top with all the full syllabus or a link to the syllabus. And this is a test classroom, so there isn't actually a syllabus in here. But one nice thing that Canvas does is it pulls together all the due dates that have been entered in Canvas and has a list of them at the end of your syllabus. And this is a dynamic list. It will change as your instructor adds due dates, changes them, etc. But they're listed by date, so it can keep you kind of organized. The titles are there. These are clickable links, so you could go directly to that assignment, but again, I'm going to caution you not to do that. And it also shows you due dates and times, excuse me. These are the due date times. So it's important to notice when they're due, because you're in an online class. You know, you can work 24 hours a day, and so it's really important to know when your instructor has set as the deadline for assignments to be turned in. And so if you look at this first one, it's due at 11:59 p.m. So that's in the middle of the night. But the next one's due at 8 a.m. So perhaps this is for a hybrid class, and they have class at 8:30 or 9:30. And so your faculty member really wants you to have done that assignment before you arrive in class that day. So it's important to pay attention to the times. Okay, so that's the syllabus tab. One of my favorite tabs and the most important tab for most classrooms is the modules tab. Not every faculty member uses modules, so don't panic if you don't see one. But this is the sort of more standard way of navigating through Canvas. So this, again, is a test classroom, so it doesn't have a lot of content in it, but you'll see this is a module week 1. And really that just means this is a file folder to hold all the content for week 1. And as your instructor, I didn't just throw everything in that folder higgledy-piggledy. We actually put it in an order that we'd like you to use it. So usually there's some start here content or week 1 introduction or some sort of background information your faculty wants you to know. Perhaps your reading assignments are listed as well as reading objectives. And then after that, there might be some assignments. See, this A+ means an assignment. This little discussion bubble, that means it's a discussion. And you know these are for grades because if you look on the right-hand side, there's due dates listed. There's also points, so you can see what's important and how much each one is worth. So we are this email test student. So we're going to go ahead and go, well, week 1 assignment, let's check it out. So we're going to click on that week 1 assignment. And there's a lot of good information right here. So it says it's due by January 23rd at 8 a.m. Gosh, that must be a class day. It's worth 25 points. And how am I going to submit it? Am I, if this is a hybrid class, is this something I'm turning in on paper, in person, or is this something I'm turning in online? Well, here it says really clearly you're submitting a text entry box or a file upload. It will say on paper if it's to be turned in on paper, and sometimes it says submitting nothing. So sometimes something that is an assignment, it might be worth no points, and it might be read chapter 2 this week. So pay attention to that. And here's some assignment instructions. And so this is kind of a silly little assignment I wrote in there, but for this assignment I would like you to answer the following questions. You may submit your answers by writing in the text box or by uploading a Word document. And we're going to do both those things in just a second. And I mentioned noting the date and time. And for this example, the instructor even put in, I would like your discussion completed by 8 a.m. on Friday so we can discuss live in the classroom during Friday's class. If you have any questions, please ask. All right, and then here's the questions. Question 1, why is ... So why is something? You're going to have to answer a question. And the second question is, what are the names ... So pretending that's a real assignment, and you're ready to do it. So you're like, okay, here I go. So you are working, and perhaps you created a Word document. But first, let's actually start with submitting by a text entry box. So you're going to go over the Submit Assignment button on the right-hand side. Everyone see that? And you're going to click on that. And here's the assignment information. It's still all up there. But now there's this great little box where you can have some options here. So you can upload a file from your computer. So you would browse and find it. You can do text entry. So text entry would simply be, it says copy and paste your text submission right here. So you can just say, this is my assignment 1 submission. I believe, and you just type what you want to submit. And then question 1, blah, blah, question 2, blah, blah. And you're all done. You've typed all your information. You have a little ability to make a comment to your instructor. A great assignment. I hope I did well. I was a little confused on question 2. And that little note is going to go to your instructor's email. And so they'll get that and they'll say, oh, look, my email test student was confused about question 2. Maybe I didn't write it very clearly. So that's really good feedback to have. So you can enter by text entry, and you can submit your assignment by clicking the big blue assignment button. And I'm going to go ahead and delete this text entry because we're actually going to want to submit a file upload. Here we go, file upload. All right, so that means you went ahead and you created your assignment in a Word document, a Google document. You can actually upload to Google Docs here too. But you did some sort of word processing or Excel file, some file that you are now going to upload to the assignment. So we're going to click Browse. And my computer desktop just opened. And let's see if we can find a file to throw on there. Yes, here's the reaction paper. It's a resubmission. Okay, and you select it, and then you make sure that what you wanted to upload does appear here. You can add another file if you had a couple files to submit. And then when you're ready, again, you can make a comment to your professor, and then you submit assignment. Let's make sure, yep, and now it's submitting. And what's really great about Canvas is it's going to confirm and let you really know that that did get turned in successfully. So now if you look on the right-hand side, it tells you all your submission information. You turned it in on January 8th at 2:57. The submission details are here. It's going to show us reactions, resubmit, doc. Sweet. So you know it got turned in, and you know your file that you wanted to attach was there, and you didn't make any comments to your instructor. That's great. If you suddenly realize, oh no, I turned in the wrong thing, you just click resubmit assignment, and you can go through the process again, and you can make a comment to your instructor, oh my goodness, I accidentally turned in an assignment for a different class. No problem. It's all right there. You can't actually delete the other one, but you can keep resubmitting until you're happy with what you submitted. Okay, so that is how you submit an assignment. And now I'm going to talk about discussions, because many classrooms, especially fully online classes, will take advantage of the online discussion feature. What is an online discussion? That doesn't even make sense probably. But we're going back to our modules tab here. And the next thing that this student has in this course is week 1 discussion. So I'm just going to go ahead and open that and show you what a discussion looks like. Here I posted this today. I said, hi, this is your first weekly discussion assignment. Please complete the reading assignment and answer the questions by clicking reply below. Everyone see the reply button? This is easily missed. So here are the questions. What was the main feature of something? And question 2, please describe your reactions to start at the end of chapter 1. Okay, those are made up, but pretend that that makes sense to you. And you've read chapter 1, you're ready to answer your questions, and you're like, gosh, nobody else has submitted anything. But actually, it says replies are only visible to those who have posted at least one reply. So this is a way for instructors to encourage you to have, think through the assignment yourself first before you read other people's impressions and ideas. And it really gives you a chance to give your truest, best attempt at the assignment. You will know that other people have submitted, because if you look over here on the right hand side, it does show 3 unread replies out of 3 total replies. So as soon as you add something in here, the other replies are going to pop up. So let's have a look at that. So I'm clicking in here as the email test student, and I'm going to say, oh, question 1. The main feature of the chapter, ... Write your whole post. You're all set. You've proofread it. It's always important to proofread. There's a lot of advanced options up here. You can attach pictures. You can use math symbols. You can make a recording. You can add a hyperlink if you had something to link. So there's some advanced features in there. But for now, we're just doing a straightforward type in some text. And now we're going to post reply. And as soon as we post that reply, guess what happens? All the other replies show up. So here's the one you made at the very bottom, because you're the most recent poster. But above that, looks like a test student has also posted. And above that, your instructor posted. Looks like it was me, but posted a sample post. And then what's neat about discussions and what really makes them interactive is the test student read what I wrote as your instructor and then made a comment on top of what I said. And so many online classes you'll be required to comment on other people's posts. And so this is all you do. You read the post, and now you are the email test student. You say, oh, look, found it shocking. Thanks for sharing. Well, I want to comment on that too as this email test student. So I'm going to say, I was also shocked because something, 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 and you fill in what you wanted to say. And again, you post reply. And now your reply is below the test student and Amy. So that's called a threaded reply. All the replies fall in line, all about the same topic, so that you can follow a whole conversation about it. And one other thing I want to show you here in discussions is this. Anytime you see a wheel like this, like a little gear wheel, it means sort of settings in Canvas. So I want you to click down on that, And there's this thing called Show Rubric. Now, I'm not sure if you've heard of a rubric before. I really only heard about them in about the last year or two. But rubrics are pretty great. Not everyone uses them, but I want you to be familiar with them if your instructor does. What a rubric is basically what you're going to be graded on. What are the faculty expectations of your work? So it helps you know what they want. It helps them grade fairly across the board. This is a 10-point discussion assignment. And so here it says the criteria for success. Number 1 is addresses all parts of the questions. Okay, well that's worth 2 points out of 10. So that's 20%. Okay. Mechanics, spelling and grammar. Okay, gosh, I get a point for good spelling and grammar. That's good to know. Substantive nature of posts. What does that even mean? That's worth 3 points. That's probably pretty important. So here I have a view longer description. And click on that. Do the postings display an understanding of the readings? Do they demonstrate knowledge? Okay. And then finally, comments to classmates. As I mentioned, faculty will require you to often make comments to classmates. And this is actually a rubric out of one of my online classes that I teach. And this is worth 40%, 4 points out of 10. If students do not comment to their classmates, they actually can only earn a 60% on the entire discussion. So super important that you pay attention to that, because that can hurt you for sure. And the reason the emphasis is on comments is this is sort of replacing, especially in fully online, this is replacing that face-to-face interaction that you have in a typical face-to-face classroom, where you talk about ideas, you share thoughts, you might even debate a little bit. Because you're in an online environment, you have to do that in a virtual world. And so that's what the comments are really for. And finally, I always put this little tickler in there, follows rules of good etiquette. And good etiquette simply means you're being a respectful participant in the discussion. You're keeping everything on a professional level. You are not hurting anyone's feelings. And there's a whole list of etiquette expectations on an e-learning resource classroom for students that I'm going to show you at the end of this talk. Anyways, so this is the rubric. This is just outlining how I'm going to be grading the assignment, so students know what's important. So I'm going to close the rubric just by pushing on that little X. And you have posted, this email test student has posted to the discussion, so that's done. So now really you need to sit back and wait to be graded. So I'm going to show you, I have some graded assignments here. And actually, this is how you know you've been graded. Let's see, yes, so here. One of the other tabs that's important is the grades tab. This grades tab is your grades for this class, because we're inside the classroom for Canvas 101. And you get a little reminder if a new grade has been posted. So here's a 1. So this is great. All right, cool, I got a grade. So I'm just going to click on grades. And this is a different looking kind of table. So it's got a list of assignments down the left. It's got what the due dates are. And this will show all the due dates for the entire quarter, kind of like at the bottom of the syllabus. So it will show the due dates and times. It will show a score, how many points it's worth, and then some extra icons over here that we're going to talk about. So what this is telling you, when there's an icon there, that means you've actually done the assignment. It hasn't been graded yet, but it's been done. If you haven't done the assignment yet, there will just be a dash. Here we uploaded that paper, that Word document to the assignment, so that's waiting to be graded, but it has been uploaded. And there's another discussion from earlier. And then here's an assignment that this email test student did already. And if you'll notice, the grade is now showing 21 out of 25 points possible. And then what's really cool is if you look over here, there's a comment. Oh, and if you hover over it, it says 2 comments. Ooh, got to read those. How do I read them? And what's this? Well, this little tiny icon represents that rubric that I just showed you, or a rubric like it. That means there's a rubric with this assignment and your instructor has graded you using it. So there's 2 ways to see more information. Well, there you go. I bumped that, so you can click on that. You can also click on See Rubric Results, and all that information is going to show up. You can also click on this Show All Details button. That will also show you, that just hid them all, but there we go, shows all the information. So you can see in this assignment 1, the email test student said, here's my assignment to the instructor, and I, as the instructor, said, good job on this assignment. Please see my full comments and annotations on your document. What does that mean? That is one more thing I need to show you. But before I do, just as we move down, here's the rubric. This is a different rubric from a different assignment, but it was worth 25 points, and this email test student earned 21. And he or she can then go through and see, well, I got full credit for that, full credit, full credit. Oh, I only got 15 out of 19 here. I wonder why. And sometimes there'll be information right here. Sometimes, as in this one, they said, please see my full comments and annotations on your document. So that you can't get to from right at this screen. What you need to do is go back up to the assignment name, click assignment 1, and we're here at a submission detail screen. Still shows all those comments. But then here's the assignment. You could click on that, but that's not going to get you to the feedback. You actually need to know to click this View Feedback button. So hopefully you see that. And it says preview your submission and view teacher feedback if available. So we're going to click on View Feedback. And then a preview of the assignment is going to open up. And I'm on a small screen here, so it's going to be a little tricky to see. But as we scroll down, you can see that I made some comments. And these are not real comments on this document, but just to show you what they look like, instructors can do a big border around some text. And here I said, please proofread your typing. You can do a little point. And this one says verb tense. And then here you can also highlight text and then have a thing come over and it says wrong page numbers. And so then you as the student see how a reply button keeps popping up. You could hit reply and say, I'm so sorry, my cat sat on my laptop. I have revised, or I will revise, I guess. Okay, and then hit enter, and that will stay. A lot of faculty are going with this online comments so that it's easier to get the feedback back and forth between student and faculty. Okay, so that is that nifty thing. Oh, the last thing I want to show you when we're in that view feedback screen, if you are required to resubmit the assignment, make corrections and resubmit. And sometimes it's really hard to work from a screen to a screen, especially if you're on a small laptop. So I do want to show you this little download button right here. If you click download, you'll get 2 options. You can download the actual file that you originally submitted, but know that that is not going to have this teacher feedback on it. But that is your original file if you can't find it anywhere else. But here you can download an annotated PDF. And basically that just means it's a file. It's going to look exactly like the one that we were just looking at in Crocodoc. It's going to have all your instructor comments, so you could, if you wanted to, print it out next to you and then refer to it. And you can also just save it and refer to it. So keep those in mind. Okay, we're going to close that and we're going to close that. And so now I want to show you just 2 more things. So let's say you are struggling. You can't remember how to upload a document or how to view the feedback. And it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm not here in e-learning services and no one else is either. But the great news is you can go to Canvas Help up here on the right-hand side. And there's actually 24/7 telephone and chat support from Canvas. So if you have a question, you just hit that help button and there's some options here, but really just go right here. Canvas 24/7 support hotline. Canvas 24/7 chat hotline or support. So those folks are there. They're great. They have a lot of knowledge about Canvas and can help you with those questions in the middle of the night. So you're not stuck till the following morning. Okay, so keep that in mind. And really briefly, I wanted to tell you about up here, these personal settings. So this email, test student, if you click on that, that will be actually your personal name. So you click on your name, and that's going to take you to your own little mini part of Canvas. That's all your own. So this is where you can upload a picture. A lot of faculty ask students to do that. You just hover over this gray image and a little pencil comes up. Click on the pencil, and then you have the option to upload a picture. You can take a picture right there if you have a webcam in your laptop or computer, or that's how you add a picture. And the last thing I'm going to show you today is notifications. Canvas is set up, preset to send you emails at your go.shoreline.edu account for various things when they happen in Canvas. And the default settings are pretty reasonable. You can have things sent weekly, daily, or ASAP, or not at all. So like here, right here, so course activities, due date. Well, let's see. If an assignment due date changes or one is added, you're going to get a weekly notification automatically at your go.shoreline.edu address. If you don't want those, you can actually send do not send me any. You could send a weekly summary, daily summary, or immediately. If you go to your personal settings, here's where the go.shoreline email address will appear, and you are not allowed to remove it. It has to stay, but you are able to add another email address. So let's say you don't like checking go.shoreline that often, or you don't want it to land on your phone. You only want a different email address to land on your phone. You have the opportunity right here to add a different email address, and you can manage your notification settings different for different addresses. But that's not to say you should never check your go.shoreline, because your instructor will have that address, and if they need to contact you, they can pull that address out of Canvas and go ahead and email you directly. And if you're not checking go.shoreline, you're going to miss the message. So I still urge you to check that at least daily, if not more often. But it might be more convenient to also have another email address here in Canvas. And Canvas is pretty flexible, so you can actually also add a Facebook account, a Twitter account, excuse me, another method of being contacted. You can even, I think, use your text message feature, so you can put in your telephone number for your cell phone if you'd rather just get text messages. So that's a great way to customize Canvas for yourself. So I think that is we have covered all the important points. The last thing I want to show you, I promise, and I want you to know that if you haven't already noticed, in your courses drop-down list, one of the choices you're going to see, and you won't have as many as I do, but you'll see e-learning services and resources. And this is a great classroom that we've put together here in e-learning for you as online students. And it's full of great information. Right here on the front page, it's listing our winter face-to-face Canvas orientations that are on campus. So if you're local and you have the time and these times work for you, you're welcome to come right to campus. But I think since you're watching this video, you probably couldn't, and this is the other way to attend the orientation if you need it. Okay, so here's the modules. And there's just lots of great information. How to be successful online, some tips for success, netiquette like I talked about earlier, how to communicate online, how to communicate in a discussion board, and important cultural considerations to consider when you are communicating to a class. Technical requirements for Canvas and other learning. Canvas tips. Here's a bunch of links to the Canvas help guides, which are really nicely done. Lots of pictures and step-by-step instructions if you're not sure how to do something. And finally, prefer to learn with short videos. This module's for you. There's some video introductions. Panopto. What is Panopto? It's our lecture capture, which you're watching now, and then some resources here on campus that we covered already on that homepage for current students, but there's links here as well. So this is a great place to come if you have a question that you want to do a little research yourself. Okay, that is what I have for today. We really do want you to contact us anytime if you need help. So call us, the phone number is here, or go ahead and email us, or come on by the 1200 building. I look forward to meeting you. Thanks.